They look very pressured. And coming into this draft, we were just hitting on it at the end of last game. Maybe as RNG, you just shift focus. You just play down towards bottom lane because I feel like Gala's been having a good tournament. They just aren't playing around Gala. Gala was the MVP of the spring finals that they won.
If I may, following in the footsteps of great teams like the 100 Thieves.
Yes.
Being able to attack a bottom lane, kill Viper, take out the biggest point of power there for EDG, because Flandre alone up on top side with Xiaohu, if you actually just have that matchup 1v1 without needing to spend so many resources, Xiaohu probably can also still just earn his own advantages there.
Killed him game one.
Yeah, if you change your focus to bottom side and you're able to make something happen down there.
And I want to point out from what I've seen so far in this series, support counter pick has essentially won every single time. Every time one team has the better support matchup, that is the team that has controlled bot lane and then controlled the game. I need to see Ming pick after Mako in this game.
And it seems like right now, EDG, we're trying to push them to ban out the Yuumi would be my guess. You take away the Nautilus, say, hey, if you don't go with this, we're just going to pick the Yuumi ourselves. We don't think you really play Enchanter supports. What will you do?
Rise. It's still the Rise first pick. TF's gone, Galio's gone, crying. Is it Annie, or are you going to take the Malzahar play?
They're trying to get a 2-for-1 here too with leaving the Yuumi up. They don't think it's going to be picked up by RNG on the backswing, so securing the mid lane priority champion here, the roamer left up for Scout, takes it away from Cryan, and we've seen on red side, RNG have had a problem trying to deal with mid lane champion pool for him. The Annie, while you did have some burst plays, was not it.
No, and it also goes back to earlier I was highlighting that Cryan, historically, he does play Azir, he does play Orianna. There are other scaling champions in the book. They just don't fit the playstyle that we've seen RNG hover so greatly to. But at the same time, you are 2-1 down. This is do or die. The playstyle hasn't worked, even if you have gotten Xiaohu ahead in every game. So I think it's definitely time to change. Kobe, exactly what you said, they're going to go towards that Yuumi. And it seems like EDG are just going to get everything they want in this draft.
Yeah, the gambit pays off here from EDG. They throw it down. You're not willing to early pick the Yuumi, so we'll let it pass over. Get it on the backswing here for Viper and Mako. Get the Misfortune Yuumi, classic combo that we have had so often here at Worlds this year.
Rel, Amumu, Nautilus, Leona. I want to see one of those four champions. One of them is banned, obviously, so one of the 3 remaining champions. That's the tier list of champs that are good into Yuumi, an engaged tank, and it means if she's locked in lane, that's fine. We're trading farm. We have enough pressure that you can't play the lane out. Or I roam, and you're still locked in lane.
Ming is a phenomenal Rel player. He's actually one of the people who've gone back towards it consistently. The thing I really just don't like about Rel is when you're facing such long-range champions, it can be very hard to find those consistent engages. Rel does really well against low-range comps, so you can hit multi-man ultimates.
Also, it's a bit slower than some of the other engage options where you really want to get in there insanely quick and punish the Yuumi. That's why the Rakan is getting banned out here. Lightning quick possible engages there.
Yep.
The Annie has been picked up once again though for Cryan, and it still is theoretically a really useful pick. Super good at roams, as we mentioned in the last one. If you can actually convert on your mid lane play first with better timing and better positioning, that with the flash, engage and trying to take out Viper, or trying to take out Scout early on, then the game could look completely different, because he was still, even with being so far behind, one-shotting the Ezreal, one-shotting Viper later in the team fights.
It also goes to the point of RNG have not played much mid-jungle this year, but historically on E-Star, where both lane try and come from, that was the bread and butter of that team, playing through mid-jungle, and way back then pretty much played Jarvan every single game. So at least getting some comfort, but they are going to have to show something better than they did last time they played the Annie.
All right, Lulu, you can split the lane, but Yuumi is a scaling support, and you're not going to bully this one too much. I think it's not a bad pick. You're going to have some control over lane, and if that's all you care about,
He gets it again, guys. He gets it again.
Yeah, they're targeting jungle bans, right? They're saying, well, we care more about Jeja having a jungle pick that can walk over the matchup, so you know what? Screw it. Let's split top lane. We're going to have at least parity in bot lane. We'll have an advantage in the jungle matchup. We'll play bot mid.
And
hats off to Flandre for finding his pick, though.
They go to it every game, but I wonder what the answer will be, because we haven't seen a lot of good answers. We saw the Jax coming out, and it was kind of back and forth. I feel like maybe you can always just try and go for a tank and even just ignore the top side of the map. When Xiaohu does go for quote-unquote tanks, he typically does bring out the AP Gragas, not having much beyond that in his route of maybe frontline or initiation.
I think they need damage. Yeah, I think they need some more damage here. So that's a possibility of a giant AoE team fight too. Yeah. So they are playing for some big wombo combos here on the side of RNG. Play off of these flash cooldowns, flash from Annie, flash from Kennen, and that is a go.
Yeah, I think it's a good sort of meta game call in that these teams are team fighting, right? You know when these teams clash, they are going to team fight. That's going to happen in the games. So let's pick some good team fighters. Jarvan, Annie, Aphelios, Kennen, those are good team fighters. Getting in? Yeah, I expect Xiaohu to find a play.
The great part is as well, is that compositions like this that do have so much AoE damage and lockdown are the comps that if they fall behind, which RNG has, these are the comps that can find a way back into a game with, you know, one ultimate hitting correctly and then taking out the key carry on the opposite side.
One thing I will say with building your comp like this, when you have a ton of crowd control, you usually don't also want double AP carries because then Merc Tread's value is insanely high. So Merc Treads are going to be kind of no-brainer for the side of EDG this time around with double AP threat and tons of CC.
Well, there we go. Onto the Rift, though. Will they be tanky enough to withstand Kennen? Where does RNG put their pressure? Because it feels like they spent a lot more effort actually making the bot lane matchup look good. So I want to see what comes out of that. Because whoever's won bot lane has won the game in this series. RNG indeed chose red side after losing game 3, and they let the support pick come in late, thinking the pool was good enough they could answer Yuumi after the second phase of bans. They spent that effort getting rid of jungle picks. They let Flandre get Graves again. His Graves is undefeated in the series, I believe, and we'll see if it's going to be 3 in a row.
We talk about RNG letting bot lane get this matchup. Actually brings me back to an interview that Gala did when he halfway through the spring split for RNG, where it's like, I was so excited to join RNG, a team that always puts all of their resources into one player. It was Uzi, and then I joined and it's Xiaohu. What is this, man? What's going on? And it feels like, again, maybe for RNG, it's just send that down towards the bottom half of the map. Even last game, Gala did the most damage on RNG.
I always felt for Gala too because he put in so much time when Uzi was like, you know, I'm just going to take a split off. I'll pop back in whenever I feel like it. Gala's like, okay, you know what? I'll fill in. You can come back whenever you want. That type of stuff. Put his time in. Let's see. This time around, though, Wei is on Jarvan, and that one does not want to be that slow.
Oh, wow. Flash follow? Nah, he's reloading. It is amazing how as many things change, they stay the same. Here's RNG at Worlds, and it's about the bottom lane in their quarterfinal best of 5. This has been the matchup of the match.
Huge invade, though, is going to actually follow up with a late red. Ward is down for the side of RNG as they exit, so they do have full vision, calling over support as well.
With wards, they may push EDG back. Flandre still going to stand up on the front side here. Wei is, of course, on his way out of the base. Had to take the pretty late recall being shoved out, and obviously flash disadvantage. Flandre is sitting on a ward. Not going to have too much happen. He can't stay forever or he will drop CS.
Cryan is going to miss mid lane melees, though, for this, I believe.
It also just goes back to what we were even talking about last game, Kobe, is that when things like this happen, there are other people losing out on the map. EDG commit to a topside invade, they get a flash, they really don't lose anything. Sure, they lose a bit of time, but we can see Gala being zoned out in the bottom lane, Cryan missing waves mid, and just overall massively successful play for the side of EDG everywhere.
Right, early fighting, Lethal Tempo is on. Gala does not chase in for any more damage as Guardian was popped. Once again, our featured matchup set up by Mercedes-Benz is this bot lane fight, and I just need to see Gala and Ming actually get it done. This is what's happened in this series. They have been slaughtered down to the 2-on-2.
And it starts off very beneficial. As you alluded to, bottom lane gets a slight advantage, also mid lane. And Annie, as a champion here, now we're seeing again, the strengths are in those roaming burst timings. She does struggle due to the range disadvantage in controlling early minion waves, in laning early on, and the struggle is always with the early health pool. You see he's invested in boots level 1 for his Predator because he wants to play out of lane, and now going to lane late, not having that extra experience, guaranteeing that you're shoved under tower early, guaranteeing that Scout is going to be throwing Qs at you while you're trying to CS under your turret and harassing you down. You only have so much sustain. He's already worked through his entire refillable potion, only 1 biscuit left.
And it also just goes to not even bot lane. You look at the minimap, all 3 of EDG's lanes have prio, makes it very easy for JJ to play the game. Potentially could even just double scuttle here with where Wei is on the map. Wei going to consistently have to look to play to the opposite side, pull out some of these unexpected ganks, but not even having the flash, so a lot of that power being taken away as well. And look, they're even going to check it. EDG are just so ready for what RNG can do.
Oh, he guesses where he's going to be, finds a knockup, finds some slows. It is going to force Scout to flash as Cryan's on the way with Predator. That means they should get this Crab. Smite is up. Shouldn't be a problem.
Yep, Cryan going to expend a decent amount for that, though. His first Predator, the early one, utilized to ensure that Wade doesn't get double crabbed. Like the opportunity, though, you know the positionings of everybody since you just saw Xin bottom side. Can't get up there already, so take the positioning advantage, early trade onto the Rise, get the Rise flash down. It means kill pressure. Everybody in the whole game is pinging that Rise flash because Annie plus Jarvan, if you flash with Annie and guarantee that stun, that's an EQ guaranteed. That is a dead Rise. As long as you're in position. We saw last game, you know, the early flash, and jungler wasn't quite there. But as long as jungler's in position, that should be punishable.
Oh, I don't think he saw him. I think that was just a guess that, hey, maybe you recall here. Root on a Viper, though, cleanses down. Ignite is on afterwards. One more audible kill, and he gets it. First blood. Thank you, Lulu E. TP to follow. You got to match this one. Gala is going to drop, and this is going to be a 2v3. Xiaohu's going to get knocked into the air. Scout's here as well. Is it going to be enough? Will they find that kill? They find a stun. The Ming is rooted in place, and EDG 2-1's the scoreline of the series end this game.
RNG finally find what they need in the bot lane. They get the good matchup, but sadly, EDG just with a really nice answer. Jedge's on the bottom side of the map, so it doesn't matter that Xiaohu TP's in. Wei just isn't there.
And because mid lane pushed out right there, able to get the teleport through, Flandre holds the teleport and is getting turret plates during this push. So here comes the flash forward, securing the kill with JJ down here, though. He knows he can go all in on Gala because they have the teleport answer from mid lane from Rise. Third Q was still up too, so he's able to get the flash out from Xiaohu. So many cooldowns in addition to the kills have been earned by EDG in this opening play, and you can see the big reactions for it.
It's their 6th time at the World Championship, and EDG have never crossed the barrier of top 8. Here against the team that's had their number for 4 years straight, and EDG are saying, well, the number today is maybe a 3 and a 1. Looking so far so good, 600 gold up in what could be the last game of this quarterfinal.
And EDG are showing why they were the LPL champions in Summer Split. They're just taking down favorite upon favorite.
Slash to get away. Anyway, certainly not ready to stop and lose this game.
Yeah, that was a very risky attempt there by JJ, and rightly punished by Wei, because bottom lane was already up in the river for RNG, so definitely a lot of position for collapsing there on the side of RNG. Wei just living down here, though, is still level 4.
They can't kill the ward off. It's a nice make it rain, and it's way down a level under JJ. Yeah, he's one camp away, but he's still 4 right now, and that means you don't have power to fight. Sorry, a 3-on-3 is not in your favor. Even down that extra Ruby Crystal.
Look at Flandre and JJ on the map, though, trying to set something up on Cryan, but the movement speed from the shield, the flash, he is completely fine.
Yeah, key communication there by Xiaohu saying there's a roam timer right now for Flandre. Left top side, I'm going to be pushing it out. Easy for Annie to just back off there. And he does have another Predator active coming up at level 6. This is the point where Annie really wants to get her first kill. Level 6, flash available, Predator coming up very quickly with level 2 boots. I want to see which side they actually try and play towards, because bottom side, Viper's Cleanse is coming up quickly, but he won't have flash, and Yuumi won't have either summoner.
Another big thing is Flandre also has TP, so if you commit to that side, Flandre can come down, but Xiaohu can't. We have seen Flandre just pretty much completely in control of the top side of the map so far. Though, with ultimates up, it feels like this would finally be a time where RNG can look to try and set up a kill on Flandre if they are afraid of that TP play coming on bot.
Yeah, it could be top side because jungler top side right now and slow push building on top side. After this push out, definitely has a roam opening. Bottom side going to relinquish control. They're going for it. Yep. Slow pushing on the top side, but Cryan is spotted by the edge of that ward, I believe.
Yeah, and actually just manages the spot away as well. You would know with him there, there's going to be a stun, a flash, EQ, knockup. You know he's flashless, a bit of heal for the smite. Big damage out of the Rise, shutdown comes in. Does Scout find a way to trade it? The problem is, Ming is under your turret. He's here, he's diving, he's dying. But it is still a kill. It's 2 for 1 and no assist on the Lulu kill. RNG are back ahead.
Let me just hammer this into your head. When RNG are going to make a topside play, they bring everybody. Everybody roams up to the top side. Bottom lane roam through the tower to ensure that they can finish up with that one. Into the jungle, they do find the extra kill, but EDG off of their resets are gonna have priority first. Teleport comes out very quickly from Cryan though.
Yeah, so now RNG may be gonna look to challenge. I mean, heck, Waste coming back on the map, you would think they want to. Some key ultimates are down though, so could be a bit of a rough one for RNG without the Tibbers and without the Cataclysm.
Ryan TP to mid in a wave that Gala and Ming were already farming, but they want to fight for the Rift Herald. That's why. Wards are down. EDG have most vision control, but a single ward gives RNG some vision. Bullet time is good, but you can flag and drag through a route, and they're going to be safe for now. Will the Herald reset? You got to be smart with the aggro. You got to make sure JJ is the one who tanks it the whole way, or it's going to reset. It'll be in smite range. Who's going to win? It's going to be stolen. Wei wins a smite. Exhaust keeps Kennen at bay. They don't get any damage. And it's time for Xin Zhao to run backwards. Andy not going to find a stun. Viper going for shots to the Cryan, but not going to find a kill just yet. RNG trying to run away. Again, they got the Herald prize. Scout, safe to put in a bit of damage, finds another route, looks for a bit more. Not gonna get it just yet, and it's time for RNG to walk backwards. The Scuttle Crab gonna be claimed, EDG with a consolation prize.
They do push them out towards the top side of the Herald though, so Dragon transition could have been open. They're going for blue buff possibly here instead, not even gonna hand it over to Rise.
I do gotta say though, I feel like the biggest win just has to be Wei winning the smite, because you were hitting on Kobe, you're a former pro jungler, like, I just don't know how he comes back.
He's back in it. Confidence booster.
And we are going to see here, going to go straight into the replay. RNG were obviously setting up for this play top. They realize they're spotted, but that also means they spot out where Jeja is. Instant Tibbers into the Cataclysm. This did look pretty dicey. Scout is actually getting out some good damage, but like Kobe, like you just said, RNG bring everyone top when they look for these plays. Ming wanting to make sure that no one does go down to Scout, does commit, ends up going down, but still RNG pick up more than they lost in that play.
600 gold is RNG's lead. After how bad the last two games looked, the early games were catastrophic for them. Feeling a bit better. We know their team fighting is outstanding. We know they can fight from a deficit. Fighting from a win, from a lead, is how they won game one. See if they can make that one happen. Bot lane, equal in CS. Lulu able to at least equalize what Yuumi puts in the laning phase, and it means they are not bleeding out down there. The question is going to be the Yuumi scaling. Gala not quite rooted in place. Out of the turret they go. Neither team has taken turret plates. There is no accelerated Viper in this game. We'll wait for what the team fights give us, as the Herald still waited to be summoned, held by Ming. He'll get the gold from plates when it's summoned. No dragon taken just yet.
I'm still hung up too. It was an interesting call from EDG and JJ to take his own second blue. It's quite rare when Rise does benefit from having the blue to be able to continually push in Annie to get first roam. But it has allowed Xin to catch up a bit here, as you know the early lead was jumped out to there by Wei in CS discrepancy, farming just a little bit quicker. So he was able to full cleared from blue all the way down to red as well, come right back out off this purchase by his core drinker, so they can actually match mythics and not be behind on completion for the dragon fight, plus double buffs.
Also seeing RNG doing a nice job of controlling bot side. One of the benefits of having something like Lulu as compared to the Yuumi, right? Yuumi can't just walk by herself through jungle, through river. You gotta wait, link up with your jungler first. And RNG gonna look to start this dragon. Both top laners do have TP and both have ultimates.
Cryan has flash, Cryan has ultimate. He's ready to use them. See if that red Predator icon pops up. They'll be willing to go for it.
Looks like no play right now. Herald summoned to the bot lane as, actually it's EDG zoned off. Flandre getting some good damage into Xiaohu. Ult's gonna knock him down to 200 health. And now it's a 5v4, there's a TP play to be had. So, Wei gonna spot JJ. He's in a 1v3. Easy flag and drag away, and that's gonna be 3 plates taken down to the bottom side. Ulti popped. Bullet time gonna force him out as well. And here comes the flash to engage. Ming knocked up, flash into safety. Graves is here. Here comes the flash in for Scout. Cannot find the route just yet. Ult comes in. Is it enough damage from Aphelios? The health bars are low, and yes it is. RNG do not want to lose this series. They're looking great in game 4. JJ goes down. You might as well type GG in all chat. This bot lane's looking good. 5 versus 2. You bring the whole crew. Viper's flashed a bit too early. Wei drops aggro. That is an unofficial ace out of the turret. RNG came to play.
And this is exactly what RNG needed if they wanted to keep life in this series. Amazing job kiting out the bot lane re-engage coming from EDG. I am surprised that EDG weren't the ones able to take it though, because Flandre forced Xiao on top. He should have been able to TP in first.
We're gonna wait for the replay to see why Flandre's teleport was so late. The Graves arrived quite late into this one. Let's see. So after forcing the Kennen back, he's just pushing on the top wave plate. But everybody, you know, starts flashing to chase here for EDG. So first teleport is Rise, and they think they've got Ming. But then they commit these flashes to chase over, and they still don't have Flandre. So teleport channeling already from Kennen, even though he was forced back to base, he's the first one that arrives, and that makes a world of a difference.
And it feels like the whole point of playing aggressive in that top lane to force out Xiaohu from turret is being able to move first. So again, just communication from EDG not on point, and sets up for this scenario where RNG still at 5-man strong and can commit for the redive.
This is one of those rare situations where we did see different game plans.
Oh, Robo stopped by a stun, and no way out. Yeah, the game plans, Kobe. Flandre is getting turret plates top off the Kennedy forced out, and EDG's like, you're getting turret plates? Nah, you're TPM bot lane, let's go, we're flashing onto him. It's like, just take the gold.
Yeah, Flandre wanted the call to be, I just pushed him out, I want to get paid on topside, please. Let me play for myself, but the team was already flashing forward for the chases, and you could see the coaching staff for RNG just popping off in that one. Actually so excited for the comeback here, because if they can take this early lead, and it looks like they will be able to snowball, they've got the utility to do it. Annie, again, Predator available, Flash available, you know, has ultimate ready. They should be able to snowball very effectively here with the giant AoEs that they do have. Looking like they can push this to game number 5. Looking like they can keep on with the tradition of beating EDG.
I feel like it's so nice to see as well, you mentioning coaching. Oh, they stop him! Flandre's dead.
That's going to be a man stun. That's a man with only a little bit of MR. He's got a shield bow. He's got a flash. He's been red buff slowed, though, and Wei's going to renew that one. Q's going to land for a bit of damage. There's the flash. Wei waiting for his cooldowns. Just takes the dunk, guarantees it. Flandre burned a 5-minute cooldown just to get ulted.
Yep, Flandre goes down. EDG at least are making the cross-map play, so they're going to get Herald. They might get topped as well. Looks like RNG might be able to have enough pressure to take mid-turret if Wei and Xiaohu started roaming, but looks like Xiaohu instead will go for the recall, but RNG getting another objective.
Yeah, I mean, after that play, it honestly looks like they just completely tilted off that miscommunication. This time around, you mentioned it, Freak, big discrepancy there. Cooldown blown as well, no flash now. For the out that you do have with trying to play some side lanes with your Rise, with your Graves, now it's much easier to punish it. I mean, RNG are built for so many ways to pick with this roaming prowess here, and guess what? Crying round 2 not on Annie.
I also want to go back to earlier when you brought up the coaching reaction, because you know, thinking between series, a lot of people might not realize, but you don't actually have time to talk about, hey, what do we adapt in terms of gameplay? You only have 4 minutes. You pretty much only have time to talk about, hey, what can we change in terms of draft? So nice to see RNG, they pivot with draft, and their players have worked around it so nicely in terms of playing around their bottom side, and even some nice rotations back and forth between mid and bot over the past few minutes.
Yeah, I mean, Xiaohu not playing for split, not playing for 1v1, playing a champion that destroys team fights, and has destroyed team fights all worlds long. He was there first, even after getting pushed out of top lane. Communication doesn't have to do with champions, obviously, but they are running with it.
And that Graves, turns out, RNG may be okay leaving it up. They got a pick in bot lane that gave them the ability to actually play for the lane. And thus went the game. RNG aggression works out when you don't automatically lose every one of them, but EDG now going for their own dive. It looks like it's going to be 4 versus 2, and they're looking for the first kill. That's going to be Annie dropping one for nothing. Wei goes for a dunk to lock them into turret range, and that means Scout will drop, and Wei's Zonia's, the stopwatch allows them to live. It's a trade of 1 for 1, and Kennen is getting his gains on the other side of the map. RNG do what EDG wish they could.
It's actually a complete swap of what we saw in the last game, where EDG are the ones completely tunneling in on one side of the map. RNG are like, fine, I'll get gold on the opposite side. Really nice play coming out from Wei, though, to lock numerous members down and buy Gala and Ming enough time to make it. Again, the script is completely swapped, guys.
The best of the LPL is definitely delivering. Spring champions versus summer champions going head-to-head and looking to push it to 5.
EDG, how well do you recollect from this one? Because, I mean, Wei played this so beautifully in a functional 1v4 after Brian died.
Yeah. All right, so ult went down early from the Annie, so they didn't have to worry about that one, but then goes right back in, jumps over. Stopwatch is just such a huge pickup there. Scout goes down. guess what? Lulu has arrived to save his life. Well done, soldier.
Yeah, really nice from Ming. And it's even better when we've been questioning him. Hey, can Ming really pull off Enchanter supports? Do LPL teams overall feel comfortable pulling off Enchanter supports, where the league is much more aggressive, has always been more about tank and engage, even when maybe in LCK or LCS or LEC, you would see more Enchanters coming out, but Ming so far having a great game.
I mean, what's wild is like Enchanters are good, right? Like you run Guardian, you survive a lot of tank matchups, and it works out okay there, and you get to play for lane. Like you just buff up a Jarvan, like here's a shield. Look, you're tankier, let's go.
I remember having a conversation with certain players from the LPL about why they don't like it, and they said it's because they feel like they can't contest River early, Freak. That's so important over in the LPL.
I concur. As a jungler, crabs are important. Yep. Get that river control.
Obviously can depend on matchup. In this case though, surviving the 2-on-2 has allowed RNG to take control of the game, and that's been fun to see because we are heading straight forward right into a game 5. RNG have been good late game. They've been team fighting well with deficits, and they ended games cleanly when they were ahead. So at this 5,000 gold lead, we're looking at them to stack the next dragon in 25 seconds and keep the pressure on. And we just hope that Wei can smite that Baron.
Yep, he's done quite well for himself this game. It looks like he's performing quite well under pressure. You know, we always have a very critical eye on which players can keep their composure in these extremely important games. And RNG, when they need it the most, elimination match, are definitely delivering. While it is Dragon number 2 here, you know, it's not a very early Dragon number 2, so not a huge amount of pressure for the Soul. And a lot of the vision resources are probably going to be transferred up to the top side of the map anyway, since Baron is about to arrive.
This is what I was more interested in, right? When you see Flandre alone on the opposite side of the map in EDG cross-mapping, it's will RNG be able to dunk on him again? But this time Viper is here. They're not going to let it keep happening.
I like this. So, second Dragon picked up. Even if you beeline the Dragons, we're looking at a 31-minute Soul. I expect a lot of this game to be decided before that 31-minute mark. Half these games have been won before that point in time. So certainly not going to be a huge factor, as you pointed out here, Kobe. We do have a quick stopwatch for Xiaohu, but I'm expecting the full AP build. That has been the one taken over at Worlds, and I think just suits the champions so much better. If you're landing the ult, they're all stunned anyway. Why bother going gold? They're all dead.
I feel like thinking about this, right, because we're talking about Xiaohu and the team fighting from RNG, thinking about how EDG can find a way back into the game would be, in my mind, finding picks on side lanes. JJ and Scout comboing, maybe trying to find kills onto Cryan. But EDG have never really been that kind of team that look for those sorts of plays. We can see that this series as well, that in terms of comboing their side laner with their mid combination, they're not very good at the ebb and flow of push and pull. So I'm curious to see if EDG will be able to find side lane picks, or if they're just going to wait and hope they can find a big team fight with the Yuumi with the bullet time.
Yeah, plus very big difficulty in trying to pull that off is that you have to make those picks explosive. You have to complete them very quickly, and that is difficult when you've got the Lulu roaming around, shielding people, buying time for people, Wild Growth comes through, plus the double teleports being ready right now for RNG to answer.
It is in, finds a bit of damage, no knockup though, and Wei's able to walk away, no problem, using a couple of actives. Not gonna matter too much, quick root out of Gala. Thank you, Gravitum, and okay, EDG are allowed their wolves. I mean, I understand it, right? There's a camp up. RNG must contest.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest advantage that RNG have right now is to try and draw EDG to the Baron
And stunned, but the ulti's down in time. Bullet time gonna zone away. EDG will survive the play, and now they are the ones finding the cross map. Quick TP coming in. Great flash from Scout, keeps him alive as Xiaohu wants in. Cryan wants in, does not get a stun just yet. They're walked away. Jidget does have to walk backwards as well, but health bar still low, and poor Scout left alone, isolated on the right-hand side. There's the dunk in for Wei, and Flandre needs to auto, finally gets his dash backwards. Damage coming across, but he's going to live.
Cryan just always has Xiaohu's back. Say what you will about some individual plays, say what you will about his laning, but this man always has his teammates back. Teleports in for the counter.
Yeah, and it goes back to something that we've been hitting on a lot, right? Is like communication between team and planning out these plays. That RNG are always ready. No matter if their draft has kind of been hampered by champion pool issues and the early game hasn't gone so well in certain games. In terms of like communicating and reacting on the map, they've definitely been very good at that throughout the series. And for RNG, it feels like they're just going to be able to continue to bring this home. We are going to see what EDG we're looking for. Realm Warp does come out. Makes sense trying to find this pick in bot side while the overcommit did come out in mid lane. But Xiaohu instantly flashes in, goes for the ultimate, finds the stun. And like you said, Cryin is a true homie. TP's in instantly. And with the other members of RNG cutting through mid, it separates Scout and allows them to just focus him down and find this kill.
And Xiaohu specifically and RNG have had so much experience in defending split push plays like that because Xiaohu splits so often like this. They are always looking for the turn, looking for the opener. You know, yes, you're trying to disengage and avoid damage while you're buying time for the rest of the team, but also looking for the turn where you can flash in for that stun, set up the follow-up there from Cryin as soon as he arrives, and they do just that. Now to retake control of the objective, though.
It also goes back to what you were saying about you need to have the damage when you're looking for side lane picks as EDG to just burst someone out immediately, right? Because they went for the right play. That's really all they have. But Kobe hit the nail on the head. They just don't have the damage to take him down. So for EDG, it feels rough in terms of win cons.
And can I just add one more on top of that? He didn't even have to burn his stopwatch. Like, he didn't even get close. You thought you were close? He still has the stopwatch.
And now we look at the next play. Dragon up in 1 minute. Baron alive and has been for 4. And it is RNG who own the top river. It's darkness on the EDG side as their life slowly slips away in this game. Gold lead 6,500. It has grown steadily over time. RNG again on pace for a 31-minute Mountain Soul. Might just close the game with that. We'll see how much more they want to do. Bottom Scuttle coming up soon around the same time as the Dragon. Xiaohu just taking away from the bottom lane. His TP is up. He can be the side laner. No one playing for top right now. Scout and Flandre both have TP, but they are sitting in mid lane fighting for minion waves that, well, for now they have rights to. They managed to equalize it for now.
Let me see that LPL brawl, baby. We're about to get it in a big way. Xiaohu does not have flash, but Cryin does. Predator coming up soon. They might just be waiting for this.
Walks into Flandre, finds the knockup. Annie over the top, and Mako was caught in transition, I believe stunned as he was jumping over to a new target. And that's going to be JJ falling down as well. Fellas get the kill credit. And you might as well turn for Baron. The jungler's dead. Wei can't miss this smite.
I just love, as soon as Wei gets sight of him there, you immediately see Cryin pathing over to the back of the Dragon Pit. He's like, you know what? We're going to get this right over the back of the wall. Beautiful execution, beautiful pick, and the reward is Baron.
You wanted blood for the blood god, and that feels like the motto of the LPL teams. EDG at least will have a response. They are going to go down and try to trade for Dragon, but they got to be careful. I think they should be fine.
That's in stun range in a second. Cryin runs out of move speed, and maybe they decide not to risk it at the end of the day. He's alone. It's a 1v2. I understand. Tibbers is not quite a full champion, but it is a Baron claim to the top side.
And look at that, yeah. Cryin heads straight for the back of the wall on Dragon, has his sweeper active too to make sure he's unseen, so the play is going to get pulled off. Just a beautiful pick right there, and that is what we talk about when you say pull it off quickly. They quickly clean them all up and quickly head over to the Baron.
Really nice to see for RNG. And no matter how this one keeps going, guys, right? Looks like we're going to get 5 games, which is always awesome, especially RNG, EDG. We've nailed down the history so much so far. RNG bouncing back after being down 1-2. And I mean, now it's easy for them. Play out through 2 lanes. They can force the engage very easily. Balls in EDG's court to try and force on one side. Scout doesn't have a Realm Warp though, but does have TP available if they want to try and find something. But RNG just have so much survivability between the champions they've drafted.
Gold lead growing. 11,000 now the lead. RNG with this Red Bull Baron power play, 2,700 gold up. Mid lane tier 2 is fallen. Inhibitor turret's going to be the siege. And Xiaohu, able to play in the side lane, keeps hitting the farm. He is 2 levels above Flandre.
Yeah, plus he's got a death cannon here. The Dream 3-item power spike right here. That is going to melt. As long as he gets to the fight, actually, the rest of the team's not even going to wait for him.
Wow, that is Annie just hitting 2 spells, and Jid is at half health, flashes in, bullet time, good flash away from Ming. Wei is tanky, Gore Drinker, Lulu, we're gonna lose the GA, but Viper is down. Flandre might be next. Xiaohu finally burns the stopwatch, and all the teammates are down. It is just Flandre left alone, and we are going to game 5. Dragon Soul is not needed. RNG find themselves a victory here, and they gotta wait for a wave. The cannons are gonna put in the shots, but there is absolutely no way. Graves holds this game. RNG versus EDG, we're going the distance, we're going to game 5, and we gotta figure out who's gonna make the semifinals.
Amazing recovery coming out from RNG. Just all around, whether it's play, whether it's draft, the fact that they had the confidence, the trust to put Cryan back on the ante when he struggled so heavily the last time around, he played well this time. He was syncing up with his team so well, and overall, just I love the adaptation coming out from RNG. We've hit home 10-1 over the past few years, 3-0 this year, but once again, we're getting a 5-game series just like in spring playoffs.
I'm so glad we're getting this, because what better way to serve the LPL, you know, spring versus summer champions here, full 5 games, play the Silver Scrapes.
Oh, it's gonna be fun. The stage is set for game 5 of today's LPL Clash. We'll be right back for a preview to the tunes of Silver Scrapes.